Hey guys, it's the milkman. I would like
I would like to open the doors and say, welcome to the third episode of the podcast. Uh, I still don't know what I'm going to name it. We're probably going to name it something to do with bison because bison are cool. Bison and ants. Ants and bison. And, uh, uh, let's move on to the cast for today. It's going to start with the Gershus, the graceful Gavin.
Uh,
I love you, Mom. Next is Kenzie.
Wait, why didn't Gavin give himself an intro?
Shut up,
I
Kenzie.
made my intro.
That is his
Okay.
intro.
Oh, okay.
You didn't even give it. You didn't give an intro for the last episode.
Okay,
Me?
Kenzie does not.
You
get
you
an
didn't say
intro.
anything. You said like, "Hi,
Oh.
I'm
Oh, because I
Kenzie."
don't know what to say.
You
Because
don't
you're
need to
on
say.
Baldur's
Just say
Gate.
anything, and get off of
Okay.
Baldur's Gate.
You get off Baldur's Gate.
I'm not even
He's
on
not
Baldur's
on.
Gate. I'm focusing on my
That's your
podcast
loss.
because it's where
Okay,
my
bro.
creative pursuits are.
I know Baldur's Gate can be where my creative
And
pursuits
No,
are.
it's
finally,
not. You become autistic
my
when you're on
personal
Baldur's
butt
Gate.
buddy, my best man for when I eventually have a wedding with
What about me? What the
somebody. What?
fuck? What about me? What the hell?
Trey!
All right. Well, first off, bison and ants, not your worst idea, okay?
Hey,
And also,
hey.
hello, viewers. The one viewer of your mother.
Hey, hi, Mom. I love you, Mom. Kenzie, say hi to my mom.
Hi, Mikey's mom.
Hi, Mom.
Excellent. Okay, so the topic for today. Why don't you introduce the topic of the day, Kenzie?
What is the topic of the day?
I told
All
you
right, I
what the
got
topic
this. All right,
was.
all right, okay,
Oh,
I'll do this
right.
instead. Okay,
I
what?
remember.
Did she grow a
We
brain?
just talked about this.
Mikey lost like $5,000.
It was not $5,000. It was about
2,300.
2,300.
Oh, okay, that's like the same thing. But yeah, you can tell us the dumb story
So
about
I'm.
that.
It's not
Mikey
dumb,
made a
okay?
mistake.
It is dumb, but it's not. You'll figure it out. I'm not proud of it. This is a very, very personal story. But we're gonna get into it. So feel free to give back any feedback. Feel free to laugh. I accept full
Definitely will.
responsibility, and it is entirely my fault. So let's start out with some base. Let's start out with the beginning. Why don't we? 'Cause that's probably the best place to start. So
Start at the end.
okay, the end was I joined the military, and now I hate my life.
Okay.
So if we backtrack from that all the way to about man, it was over a year ago. It was after high school. It was during the summer. I was still working at the cafe at the time. This was before I enlisted. This was a few months, in fact. So around like May to August. That was 2024. No, 2023. 2023. So I was just going about my business, I was working at the cafe, and Idaho minimum wage is not kind to me. It's not kind to anyone. That shit sucks. It's like what, $7.39 an hour? And I was working at a cafe, so that was plus tips. So maybe increase that to like 11 if I'm on a good day. I didn't have a ton of hours because most of the time I was still in school. So I could only take afternoon shifts, which were boring, and there was a lot of cleaning, and I hate cleaning. I don't ever want to work in the food industry again, honestly.
Don't blame you.
Maybe it's like a bartender. I think a bartender would be a good job.
That'd probably be the only good job, but then you have to deal with the drunks.
Well, yeah, but you could just kick him out. I'd own my own bar, and I'd be the bartender of my own bar, and I'd have bouncers all over the place.
And
That would
then
be
Connor can
actually
be the
so
hot
sick.
waitress.
He'd have a maid outfit. That'd be so hot.
Exactly.
Yo.
Gavin can be like Freddy
Juicy.
Fazbear. He can be on the stage performing all
Oh
day.
yes, please.
He can be. He can be.
Whore,
Okay, back to the story. I was going about my business one day. Suddenly, I get a DM from Snapchat. Not like
Avoid.
not like Snapchat, but
Snapchat AI.
someone from Snapchat, random person, added me. I'm extremely embarrassed to be telling this story. So I do ask that you guys don't make fun of me. I sincerely.
No judgment.
So, this person contacted me. I didn't know who it was. They never gave me any sort of credentials. They said, "Hey, I've seen, like, it was like one of the days after I had posted a story that had me on it, and they're like, "Hey, I think you look perfect for drawing." And they started giving me these examples of people that they had made art of, like drawn, and it was pretty good, honestly. And it seemed legit. Like it definitely wasn't a bot. I'd be able to tell if it was a bot. So they're like, okay, so you're gonna be my client, and I'm gonna be making art of you. I'm gonna make, they said that they were gonna make a portrait of me. And I mean, I shouldn't have trusted anything they said because it was on fucking Snapchat, and I didn't even.
Snapchat's for like fent dealers, but go on.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they went through like the details of the transaction, how it would work, and they're like, "Oh yeah, there's gonna be like a total of $2,000 being transferred between me, you, and a third party member." That was also a big red flag that I should have noticed, but I had never been scammed before, so I didn't, and I've never even heard of anything like this happening, so I kept going with it. And I was desperate for money at the time because they were going to pay me a lump sum of 500, and I'm like, well, all I have to do is just be in this little art project thing that they seem passionate about. So, maybe I'll support that, and because I wouldn't be paying any money, I would just be getting paid $500 just for doing pretty much nothing. So they're like, okay, I'll give you to my third party contact. And we were gonna do the money transactions before any of the art was being done. So, third party guy contacted me. He's like, okay, oh my God, I hate talking about this. I hate talking about it. It's so fucking stupid. I'm an idiot.
We don't have to continue if you don't want to.
No, we're gonna keep going. We're in it too deep now. So, where do you guys think this is going?
He extorted you for nudes or something. I don't know.
No, there was no there's nothing
Oh, he probably said
there's
that
nothing inappropriate going on.
he
We'll
was
say.
threatening your
I
family.
presume
probably.
is going to happen is in order for them to give you the $500, they would need your bank information, and that would probably mean you probably ended up giving them because you needed the 500, you needed money, right? And then they just take your money instead of give you money.
What do you think, Kenzie?
She's not even here.
Kenzie,
She's
if you're
playing
AFK right now, there's no way.
I accidentally
There's no
muted
way she
myself.
went AFK.
I
You
accidentally muted
don't. Why are you
myself.
muting yourself? Yeah,
It was
I'm
an
trying to tell this like
accident.
really personal story. I feel like that's
No.
insensitive.
No, because my little button thingies,
Nah,
it's
kicker,
like
bro.
Yeah, all
on
right.
the thing,
Yeah,
and I put
yeah.
my arms out.
I'm gonna
No,
time you out.
anyway, I was saying
Timer out.
that
An
no,
hour.
don't. I was gonna say like
Yeah.
I think where this story is going is definitely they tricked you into giving like all of your money.
Still timer out.
So, back to my point. So, none of you are correct. Instead, what they had me do is they sent me a check for $2,000, and they didn't send it in mail or anything. It was purely over email. And they said, okay, just scan it onto your bank using the app, and then that money will go into your account, and then we're going to use some of the money to do this for me, and then we're going to use some of the other money to give it to you. So I'm like, that's a really... So I say to myself, this is kind of weird, but I can imagine some I guess underground deals going like this. It was just... I'm fucking stupid, bro. Me from a year ago is a lot different than me now. I'm just gonna say that. I would definitely not have done this shit now. So, it was definitely setting off triggers. This was weird. It was definitely not a usual way of doing it, but I kept going with it. I shouldn't have, because they had given me zero reason to trust them on either side, and it was just not good. It was not good. So we kept going. There was nothing wrong. There was seemingly nothing wrong with it. Like, I got the money. The money came into my account. I never gave them any of my social security info. I never gave them any
That's
of
good.
any of my bank info. They didn't actually get any of that. They got no personal information from me besides my name, but there's not much they can do with that. I mean, I know there's a lot you can do with that, but nothing's happened to me so far. So I was mostly safe. So then a couple days go by, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're processing some information on our side. We're gonna get back to you later." So I'm like, "Okay." So I just go on with my normal days. And then they send me another check for I forget the amount. It's something like 300 or 400 or something like that. And they're like, "Okay, we're gonna need this in there because the transaction amount has changed." And I'm like, "Oh, well, this seems unorthodox, but I guess we'll go with it." So that check goes in my account, the money goes in fine, and then here's the part that I'm really not proud of, is that they're like, "Okay, now we're going to need you to transfer that money to a specific address, over fucking Cash App." So, but I didn't have Cash App, and I didn't feel like doing it. So instead, he's like, "Oh, well, just get Zelle." And I'm like, "Well, I don't want to do that." So he says, "Okay, do you have PayPal?" And I did have PayPal, and they didn't though. So they said, "Oh no, that won't work." So the next thing they suggested is buying gift cards. I don't remember. There was like, yeah.
Common.
So
Wait, so you just bought them a whole bunch of gift cards?
I remember a lot of them. I bought four. I bought um, a $600 Razer gift card, and they took the code from that. I bought 5 $100 Amazon cards. And I bought I bought a few others. But it all totaled up to a lot of money. And I don't know what my fucking shit brain ass was thinking. My fucking dim-witted maggot brain ass was thinking that but I didn't think it was suspicious until the day that everything came crumbling down. Everything came crumbling down. I noticed in my bank account that I suddenly had negative 20. I forget the exact amount. It was like it was a lot of money. It was over $2,200 for sure. Over $2,200 negative. I had a lot of money.
Negative?
I had a lot of money in my account. Well, I mean, I had like $700, but that was a lot of money to me. That was all my money. Working at a cafe, and with a car with horrible mileage, that's a lot of money. Of course. So I was in the negatives. It was bad. It was bad. So I'm like, oh. Well, when I noticed this, was when my mom sent me to the store. I forget for what. I think she was having me grab ice cream or something. And so I tried to use my card at the store, and it declined 5 times. And I'm like, oh, well, this is inconvenient. So I'm like, oh, I'll just check what's wrong when I get home. So I get the ice cream, I leave, I go home. I check my balance, and my balance was fine. My balance looked fine. But my card had been deactivated. Not by me. I didn't deactivate the card. My bank did. So.
Because of like suspicious activity, or?
Yes. So I'll get to that. But I'm like, huh, that's really weird. I guess I'll call support tomorrow because the bank was closed at that time. It was like a Wednesday or a Thursday, like 6 p.m. So yeah, the next day came up, and I was about to call the bank, and I checked my account balance one more time, and it was still saying normal. It was still saying it was normal levels. So I call up support, and I tell them the issue, and they're like, "Oh, this sounds like an issue that you need to deal with in person. Could you come in today?" And I'm like, "Yes, I can." So that day I came in, and they inspected my account, and the lady there was not kind to me. She was talking down to me a lot.
Like the lady at the
one of the tellers, one of the bankers there.
What?
Yeah, she was of the elderly type, and she wasn't like being outright mean, but she was being very condescending. And I hate people who are condescending. It reminds me of It reminds me of a person in my life that I don't ever want to talk about. Um, I don't ever want to think about, but um, it was, yeah, I hate people who are condescending. I cannot stand them. They just make me, they just infuriate me. But I was in a bank, and I'm generally a nice guy, I think. So I'm not gonna get pissy on this lady. And I still didn't know what was going on. So she's like, "Oh, we noticed that you had deposited $2,400 worth of fraudulent checks." So I'm like, "Huh?" And I tell her the situation that I'm in, how these mysterious people had to deal with me. And I told her everything that was going on, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, you got scammed."
No shit.
Um,
That's all she said though. Oh, you got scammed.
well, and then she told me like, "Oh, your account's a little bit into the negatives. So we can, but your card is deactivated. You're gonna need to get a new one eventually." Um, and she was just condescending like that. She just helped me figure out what was going on. She didn't actually like help me in any way to help mediate the issue. So that was all my savings account. My checking account still had like 400 in it. So I transferred the money over, and that got the negatives up a little bit. But yeah. So uh, it was one of the most crushing things that
What did your mom say?
that's what I'm getting to. So
Oh, okay.
it was one, just a little side tangent here. I hate, I absolutely hate the idea of ever disappointing my mom. My, almost call me flawed, call this a bad trait, call me mama's boy, call me whatever. I don't care. If I'm disappointing my mom or my mom is not proud of me, I am not happy. I'm not a happy person. I'm not a good person.
I mean,
To me,
that's
my
still
mom
valid.
to me, my mom is the greatest person on the planet. I can't think of a person that I love and respect more than my mom.
That's completely normal. I mean, anyone who wouldn't be, wouldn't have a problem really be upset about the idea of disappointing their parents and clearly would have quite the bit of a problem because even if you're not even if your parents weren't that like really nice people, you just wouldn't want to disappoint them. I mean, that's
Yeah.
completely normal.
Yeah, I know, but it's an extreme. It's an extreme for me because it's just I I want to be I it's really weird um because my mom there's just a few small things that I've done in my life that I feel like have just like made my mom's life significantly worse. I'm not going to get into too much detail here, but one of the things was uh this frequently in middle school. You were there, Trey. I was not a good person. um I hardly tried most of the time.
Define good person.
I hung out with the
Or
wrong
shut up.
people. um I was very angry. I didn't realize it, but I was a very manipulative person.
I
I
mean,
didn't
can I kind of like give
let me
explain it a
finish.
little
Let
bit?
me finish
Okay,
first. So,
all right.
um, and one of the things I did, I Mom, if you're listening to this, I've already said sorry, but I'm gonna say sorry again. Um, I've sometimes I feel like I'm the worst son on the planet. But I frequently fucking hate this, dude. I frequently talked about killing myself so that I could get out of going to school. I was, I don't, and I didn't, and I'm sorry. It was, it was awful. That's something I did at least twice. So, I mean, frequently was a bit of an exaggeration, but it was absolutely awful. I would never, ever do that to anyone nowadays. That was absolutely, absolutely horrible. Um, it was. I did a lot of things like that in middle school.
I feel like if you don't mind me poking in a little bit, I feel like a lot of middle schoolers just do that because they don't know what's right for them. So you're not like this isn't just a thing that happens to you, by the way. It just happens to a lot of people.
Did it happen to you? You talk
Yeah,
like
I
you have
mean, I didn't
experience.
I didn't talk about killing myself. It's just like it's a thought that came up every now and then because I didn't fit in. Um, I was very curious if I was even going to be successful in life. That was a very big mental struggle I had. Um, I was afraid that nobody liked me. That was another thing. So not necessarily I wanted to kill myself, but I like the general thought of it comes across your mind as a teenager. So yeah, that was really all I wanted to say for that part. Continue.
Um, so I did a lot of that um, in middle school. A lot of it aimed towards my mom, just because that I'll get into this another episode, but right before middle school, I had a bunch of really tragic things happen in my in my family life. Um, right before middle school hit, so I was not having a good time in middle school. It really affected me poorly. Um, I'm fixed now, of course. I'm a lot better than I was. Uh, I don't know what Trey thinks, but I think the time I became an enjoyable person again was around sophomore year of high school. Is when I actually started
Um,
to like be a good person, I would say.
I mean, yeah, I mean, your whole like during the time of middle school, I mean, it was like really tough time for like you and me, and I'm very familiar with what kind of like now that I've been told what you're going through, I'm also very familiar with what that was like, I guess, and it's kind of like you. It was yeah, it was really hard to, I guess, be around you sometimes, but it's just like it wasn't the worst it could have been. That's why I kind of like tried to stick around, and also because I didn't really have anyone else to go for,
Well,
anyone else. But
you know,
like,
if you would have left Trey, if you would have left and not, you know, n not been my friend anymore, I don't know how different I would be. I would definitely be. I would not be as happy of a person as I am now. So, I thank you for sticking with me,
Gibbity.
and uh, you know, if it wasn't for you, I don't know if I mean, whenever I said that I would not, I would do those things to myself, to my mom, I didn't actually mean it. I knew I would never have the stuff to do that, and I never will. That's one of the worst things you can do to the people around you. That's so emotionally devastating. I can't even imagine if one of you guys did that, or one of my family members did that. It would, I can't. I don't even want to think about it ever. Um, I know that I would. It would ruin me probably for the rest of my life. and just to even mention it in casual, not I wouldn't say casual conversation, but just to talk about doing that to myself around my mom. Uh, I commonly think about that and how much my mom is a very, very, very loving person, and she loves me a lot. She's the main person I go for support. The second being the big four.
Yeah.
Kenzie is also sometimes up there. It depends.
Yeah,
What?
you're like
She's like tier 3, sort of,
no,
probably.
she's tier 4.
Yeah.
Tier 3 would be my mom.
Yeah, Gavin's mom is elite, actually.
Yeah, very sweet person. But yeah, even I can like very well confirm, Mikey, your mom is one of the sweetest, like, kindest people like that I've ever met in my entire life. And it's just like she's not a kind of person you run into often, and it's always good to be thankful for those people.
Oh, for sure.
She's definitely the very primary reason that I am, I don't mean to, humbly, of course, that I am as kind of a person as I am now. She's definitely the primary reason. I would not rather have any other mother. She's so loving and she's so kind, and she always supports me when I'm vulnerable. She tries to help me whenever she wants. She keeps me she tries to help me make good decisions. She wants the best for me. And I love my mom. And just doing that to her as a mom. I'm not a mom, and I never will be. Of course.
As a mom.
No, no, as on her behalf as a mom. Her being a mom, I cannot imagine how horrible that would have been, hearing that from her child.
Yeah. Sorry.
If I was a mom, that would be horrible, be devastating. Because that effectively means that you failed as a caretaker. That's like once a mother becomes a mother, that's their entire purpose, is to ensure the health, happiness, and safety of their children. And not ensuring that one of those is happening. And you could get very deep with it, but in my opinion, if you failed to provide those things, you failed. And making my mom feel like that is just awful. It's horrible.
Amen.
So,
I mean, there's only so much a mom can do.
That is true.
And my mom did a lot. My mom puts everything she has into caring for me and my brothers. And
the other
I
thing
neglected that a lot back then.
The other thing is that as middle schoolers, communication is where it's like the worst, because we don't feel like we know who to go to for times like those. It's like, oh, we don't feel good, and we talk about doing things we wouldn't actually do, but we think of doing. And in those times we feel like we have no one, but in reality we're surrounded by those kind of people.
I mean, that's kind of like the real first, like, huge, I guess, turning point in a kid's life. Because before that, the only real, like, big turning point for a kid is when they go into, like, kindergarten or preschool or whatever they do first, right? But at that point, they're just so young, it's just kind of like, oh, they might cry because they miss their mom or something. But, like, but then finally, once you're getting used to elementary school and like, oh, I can get used to this, and then you get thrown into this new whole environment and stuff, and it's just like starting from scratch again, but you're a lot more aware and like
Not
I guess
emotionally developed.
you're just so much you're more emotionally developed because
Oh yeah.
you understand, you've had more experiences and stuff, and it's like you understand a lot more things, but at the same time, once you get thrown into this new environment, it feels like you don't understand anything.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
So I did have a point to all this. This wasn't just for getting out. I mean, Trey, if you wanted to talk more about me in middle school, I kind of took over that. So if you wanted to
I
talk
mean,
about that,
I'll just make like a
just
couple
try
kind
to
of
keep it short. Yeah, try to keep it to a couple
just a
points.
couple things to just kind of clarify kind of how it was. It was just a lot harder because, well, it's just since you were having hard times, it wasn't very you weren't very used to it. It's just
I
kind of
did
you
have
didn't know what to
a lot of issues that I didn't know how to deal with,
yeah, you didn't
especially
know how to
emotionally.
deal with it. Yeah, you didn't know what to do with it, and it just kind of like got pushed
Bottled up.
out. It got pushed out eventually once like yeah like it bottled up until that bottle broke, and then you kind of just it just slowly started pushing the other people away. But like it's just another rough time. It's just good that you were able to get over it.
I don't know if I've ever formally apologized. Have I actually apologized for the shit that I've done to you?
I mean, you did
It's implied.
apologize for the volleyball incident, if you remember that. I'm sure
What's
I
the
do remember.
volleyball incident?
We'll
That's
get to it
something
another
that's
time,
not.
Kenzie.
Another
Yeah,
This is
time.
maybe there.
not a story for now.
I mean, maybe you could do
Okay.
an episode someday about the backstory between you and me, but like for
The
now, let's not get into it.
origins.
But like, yeah, and it's just like it's just something that happened. You did apologize for that, and that's all.
Well,
That's enough. I don't need you to apologize. I understand that it was hard on you.
yeah, we'll get into that another time. But thank you, Trey. Um, thank you guys for being supportive. It's a side of my life that I don't talk about ever. I've literally never talked. Maybe I've mentioned it to Connor, but I always throw this part of my life under because I'm ashamed of it, and I hope I never go back. And if I do go back, Trey, I want you to punch me. Gavin, I want you to punch me. Kenzie,
What?
wear a
Okay.
shirt in my car
Yeah.
next time.
Oh yeah. That'll
Yeah,
be the
wear a
best
shirt.
reminder.
Wear a
though,
shirt in my car next
honestly.
time, please.
Yeah, Kenzie.
Please, dude. Jeez Louise.
I have no
That's
idea
the
what
only
this
thing
story
here.
is, what you're talking about, but yeah, Kenzie, come on.
Oh yeah, we could talk about that. I mean, that's not.
Yeah, lighten the mood a little
Not
bit.
in this episode.
No, not in this episode.
Not,
That's gonna.
not in this
This
episode.
episode.
Hold on, I'm gonna
is
put
for
that in
the
the
questions.
document. The time Kenzie
Yeah.
was in my car without a shirt.
Also,
What are
put an
you
origin
talking
story.
about?
The time you were in his car without a shirt. I mean, it's self-explanatory.
I literally have never been without a shirt.
You know,
Yeah, you
Kenzie.
have.
You've
Sometimes
never
I'm
showered?
glad.
Ew, ew.
Not really. I've
Kenzie.
been without
Sometimes
a
I'm
shirt.
glad. Sometimes I'm glad I've never met
Investigating
you
a
in
friend's
person.
body.
What? Why?
Kidding.
Hey, all right. Hey, we're getting off topic here. Back to my story. Shut up, Kenzie.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so I did have a point with all the stuff talking about my mother. Having to go up to my mom, and I don't like ever having to have serious conversations like that. I had to like, Mom, can we go in your room and talk real quick? And she's like, yeah, okay, of course. I don't like doing that usually because my brothers are usually like, what are you doing in there? What's going on? Because they're nosy and I hate them and they're stupid. I don't hate them, but they're stupid. So I didn't feel like doing that this time, so we just talked in the living room so Marcus could overhear this because he was playing Monster Hunter. So he was making fun of me the whole time. So I told Mom the story and just like my mom was clearly very disappointed in me She thought that I was better than that. I thought that I was better than that. I still don't know exactly how much my account was in the negatives. But she's like, okay, we need to formulate a plan, and we need to go fix this now. So
That's crazy.
that's what?
That's crazy.
What's crazy?
Just that whole thing, like how you let yourself be manipulated like that.
Just the whole situation's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot to wrap your head around.
I hope it doesn't like change your viewpoint about me, like as a person.
No.
No, not at
Nah.
all. No, I
People
was
get scammed
scammed
all the
in
time.
Hypixel Skyblock once. I was really pissed.
Scammed in Hypixel Skyblock?
Yeah,
Minecraft,
okay.
What
Hypixel,
happened?
Skyblock, bro. What
Kind
the
of
heck?
okay. This is kind of a quick story, so I can tell. So basically, Hypixel Skyblock, really cool server.
Yeah. I've been there
Online
before. It's pretty
multiplayer.
cool.
Yeah. I had my first island, and it was my profile. I was like, this is so cool. And so you can invite people to your island, which is a cool thing. But to note for later, they can kick you off if you invite them. This was like a couple years back, like maybe 3, 4 years back. So I was just in the hub where all the players are and not in my island, and I see this. I'm just looking at the chat, just because I had a lot of money, and I was like, oh, I could probably buy something, and I was just doing my own thing. And someone said, invite me to your island. We could co-op, and I'll give you this legendary sword, super cool sword. And this was like the go-to sword back in the day. I didn't have the sword, but I wanted it, and I didn't want to spend money because it took like only half my money, and it didn't really matter. But I was like, okay, sure. I invited the guy to my island. He was like, okay, cool. He he kicked me off. I visited the island, and then he said, say goodbye, and then he deleted the island. So I had to start from scratch.
Oh, that's so
This is when I
sad.
had like cool armor, like
Gosh.
dragon armor.
That's just
Bro.
a whole nother level of toxic, dude.
Bro.
Yeah, and yeah, he was gone as quick as that. I didn't remember his name. I couldn't report it because it's just like if it happens, sucks to suck, I guess. But now that was when I had like what, one dragon set in the game. I have now
Oh.
all of them like on my main account right now, so I'm doing much better than I was way back when. But
Yeah,
obviously
me
it was a
too.
different time.
Definitely.
I have my dragon set of the dream dragon set I have that I've always wanted to get in that game, and my life is complete. So yeah, that was my scam story, but that's it.
All right.
You get hit hard, you grow back harder, not in a
You
weird way.
what? Huh?
You
I
come
think
back
that is
stronger.
kind of a weird.
You know
way.
you
There you go.
you know what
Say
they
you
say
come back
about
stronger, that's better.
you know what hard challenges make? Hard men.
Okay, bud.
That Nini's hard for me saying that.
I said
think
that
that's
all the
enough.
time in basic training. I said that all the time. And then I got in trouble with the drills for it. And they smoked me for like 2 hours. That was crazy.
Like they
Anyway.
smoked on you, or okay, yeah.
No,
Anyway.
no, getting smoked. So in the army, getting smoked means they do corrective action. So, you're in push-ups, you're running, you're doing physical activities. It's not fun.
Don't sound like it.
So, back to the story.
Yeah.
We went to the bank the next day. To try to see if, because mom wanted the bank side of the story, because she had already gotten mine, and she knows I like to sugarcoat things a little bit, so that it doesn't seem like I'm a mistake of a person. So she wanted the bank side of the story. So she went there. We went there together, and they're like, oh yeah, the account's in the negatives. It's not that bad really. They said that it wasn't that bad, right? They look in there, and they say it's $1,900 still negative in the negatives. Negative $1,900.
I mean, that's pretty bad, bro.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I certainly didn't have the money with my paychecks, and I did the math. With the paychecks I was getting at the cafe, it would take me almost 2 years to make that off. Uh,
Jeez.
and that's putting almost all of the money. That was just like the minimum I needed to like put gas in my car, and then everything else goes into getting the negatives out. Um, so I wasn't about to do that. So my mom's like, she's thinking about what to do, and I'm sitting there like trying to like doing that thing, with your body language where you're like trying to make yourself smaller because you don't want to be in the situation. It was embarrassing for me, and I'm sure it was embarrassing for my mom in that present moment. So she's like, "It's okay, we could work through this." You know, she. So my mom. We had to shred, or I don't know what they did with it, but they took my debit card that had been deactivated,
And they
and
shredded it.
we made a new one. And my mom's like, "Okay, I can loan you some money so that you're at least not in the negatives, because um, so it was still a joint account at the time. So my account being in the negatives would have affected her credit score. So
Oh,
she
Oh
didn't want
shit.
that. I didn't want that, of course. Um, it's not a joint account now, but it was at the time. So nobody wanted that. That was bad. So we did that. She's like, "Oh, I'll loan you the money. I'll loan you some of it now, and then you could pay off the rest later." So she paid like, I think maybe two fifths of it or something like that. And I was progressively paying it off, and then some amount of weeks later, um, I go into I forget what I was going to the bank for. Um, I don't remember, but I was going in there. My mom was with me. I think we were
Wait, how old
deposit
were you when you did this?
Senior.
18, or I was 18.
18? Then
I
how would
had
it
I had
affect
to
your
have been
mom's
18.
credit score?
Because it was still a joint account either way, even though
Oh.
he was 18, because it was still under her name and his name.
Oh.
Yeah. So, um, I was progressively paying it off, and then this part makes me tear up a little bit. There was still a lot of money in there. There was like $1,030, negative $1,030 still in the account,
Oh, shit.
something like that. It was over 1,000. So we go in. I think we were depositing my brother's check, uh, or something. So we went in there, um, and I was like, and we talked more, and she's like, "Son, come sit down." We sat down in front of one of the bankers. I'm like, "What are we doing?" Uh, and she pays off the rest of it for me.
Oh.
And then I'm panicking and I'm freaking out. I mean, not physically, because I don't want to make a scene in there, but emotionally, I was not sure how I was going to confront this. Even yeah, I didn't even know if I needed to or I should have. But we got out to the parking lot, and uh, we got in the truck, and I started breaking down a little bit in front of my mom. And she just held me, and told me that it's fine and that I don't need to worry about that, and that she's my mom, and that she's there to take care of me. Uh, and you know that's why I love my mom. Is that
She sounds
even
like a very good mom.
W mom.
She's a very good mom.
Not what my mom would have done, that's for sure.
Damn.
What, did your mom do drugs or something?
Well,
What?
she
Bro, we
used
don't
to,
do
yeah.
that, bro.
What? This is an honest question.
No, I'm saying like my mom would beat the shit out of me if I did that.
I mean, my mom is more of the like understanding, but kind of like tough luck at the same time kind of thing. So she would have paid it off, but then made sure I paid her back. That's what she would have done. Which is which is perfectly understandable.
I think my mom would
No.
have just purely found a way to help me no matter what.
No, my mom would have been like, "You're on your own. You got yourself in this mess. You gotta get yourself out." But I was already living on my own at 17, so she really was like, "You're on your own."
Yeah,
But
that
you were
just
a
sucks.
dropout.
I couldn't imagine doing that.
Damn, bro, tough
Mm.
luck.
Gavin?
What?
Anyway, so that's the story. I mean, I wanted to pay back my mom so bad. I wanted to, but she refused the money that I gave her. She just said,
Oh,
"Nope,
really?
nope, you're not gonna do it. Nope. I did this for my son because I'm a loving mother, and my son is not going to be in debt to me." That's what she said.
My mom
So-
would be perfectly happy with me being in debt to her.
Damn.
Well, it's because
I'm
she's
the
got a lot of
mom.
expenses that she's got to keep up with, and she could use help.
Yeah,
It's not
I
like
get
bad,
that.
but like,
What's that squeaking noise?
That's my drawer.
huh?
Oh, okay.
Shut up, Kenzie.
Well,
Anyway.
I was worried you guys were hearing my chair rolling around.
I had another point, but I forgot what it was. Whatever. It's probably not important.
Gavin, how many times do you have to say "skibbity toilet"?
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. So anyway, moral of the story is don't go on Snapchat.
What?
Dude,
It's a bad
I don't
place.
even have my
Moral of the
notifications on.
story. I go on Snapchat every day and I have never had that issue.
Moral of the
Doing
story,
what? What are you
Kenzie, you're
doing, Kenzie?
stupid.
What are you doing on Snapchat?
Well, I only have snap streaks with my friends, that's it.
Ew.
I don't
I
talk
don't
Yeah,
to
you're
have
jerking
friends.
it with them.
No.
Shower? Are you
Jordan.
virtually showering?
Are
with
you
them?
showering with your friends
No.
like snap streaks or
No.
shower
Long distance
streaks?
showering?
Is that what you call it?
No.
Shower
Long
streaks?
distance shower?
No.
Is that what streaking is?
Ooh.
What?
Yikes.
Bad look for you, Kenzie.
Well, I'm not gonna say I've never done that.
Oh my gosh, she's done it.
Listen, there might have been alcohol involved.
Oh, you drugged
At
someone?
least when I drink
You
alcohol, I'm
roofied
not
your
an
friends
idiot.
and then showered with them?
No, I'm
How could you
talking
do
about
that?
the streaking.
You streaked?
Yes, I have.
What
Yeah,
the
that
fuck?
sounds like something Kenzie
Does
would do.
David know?
Hey, we got.
I don't think so.
Oh
We were
my goodness,
together.
David. Gavin, you're inviting
going.
David to the podcast.
Kenzie,
I'm
Kenzie,
inviting him.
Kenzie, we need to talk about this in one of the episodes, along with the being shirtless in Mikey's car. I think
Oh
that'll
my
work.
Oh my god, I literally was not shirtless in my
We're just have an episode that is called "Everyone Hates Kenzie." You know, like everyone hates Chris, but everyone hates Kenzie. That should just be an episode. I feel like, you know.
No, literally no.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys are taking everything I've ever said out of context and just making your own story.
You
out of it.
literally,
no
you literally
context-
just
no,
said you
wait,
went
wait,
streaking.
Kenzie, no
Yeah, but
context makes no
How could that
context
be-
makes
what-
streaking good.
In what? In what context would streaking not be streaking?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And what
Exactly.
context
That-
would that not be bad?
That one was a bad example. I'm talking about the shirt thing and the showering with friends.
Yes.
The showering with friends thing doesn't. There's no reason to do that.
That's out of context too.
No, it's not.
It doesn't. Even
Yes,
if it has
it-
context, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, unless you're a woman, I guess you wouldn't understand.
No. Okay.
Well, I identify as a woman. I don't
Okay.
understand.
What about? Yeah. Does Trey here understand now?
No, because Trey just now identified as a woman.
No, how? Oh, you just assume I just now identified as a
Well,
woman?
that's insane for you to
I have
do here,
identified
Kenzie.
as a woman since before we even met.
Everybody I have talked to that's talked about you has always said he.
Talk to a podcast.
He
Well,
or
they just
him.
don't understand my plight. I'm
Okay.
oppressed.
Gavin,
Okay.
What? La.
Yeah, but do you want to go in timeout?
No, please.
You're in the corner.
Not again. Not again. No. Hmm. Can I go out of the corner?
No.
we got a lot more content out of this than I thought we were
Bam.
gonna get. We got like 50 minutes of footage.
Good.
Or
long
I guess
episode.
it's not footage. It's a podcast. What would we call it if it's not
Content.
footage? Content.
I'm gonna
Just
start
content.
Content.
jorking it.
Yeah, we
Oh,
learned
well, I
some
think
stories about Kenzie and how she went
What?
streaking. I can't believe that's never been brought up before. Is this a recent event?
Well, no.
How
No.
long ago was this?
Oh.
I think I was like in 7th grade.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Whoa.
That's
Nasty.
illegal,
That's nasty.
Oh, I bet some
Okay.
old guy had a thrill out of that.
bro.
So I guess I shouldn't mention the time I went skinny dipping either then.
Whoa.
I've done.
Oh.
I've gone skinny dipping in my bathtub at home. Jeez.
I've gone
Dude.
skinny dipping. Never. I would never skinny dip.
Going streaking.
I was
though?
at a lake.
Get
Dude,
old
I've
couple
skinny
of
dipped in
friends.
my bathtub because I was taking a bath when I was like 6.
For real. The bubble baths hit hard back then.
Dude, especially when you had like a rubber duck in like a boat.
Bro, did you have those little animal toys like with the whale and the
Yeah.
crab?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I love those
The-
things.
Bro,
I would
the
chew
crab
on
was my
them.
lifeline.
I would try to eat them.
The crab was my lifeline, dude.
Dude, that crab was
There's a
good
reason
meat.
why. There's a reason why the crab is my go-to in
What?
Baldur's Gate.
For real. If only you could summon a whale.
Bro, I
That'd be
probably
so
got
sick.
old Grandpa Gary up for the first time in a while.
Huh?
I said, streaking, huh? Probably got
Oh.
old Grandpa Gary up after.
Grandpa Gary.
No, I don't think anyone saw.
He gave
Dude, I
out a
was-
very
I
long
hope
hug.
no one
but-
saw.
Dude, I was
Other than
was
my
it,
friend.
Kenzie, was it like the final scene in Toy Story where it's Woody and Buzz rocketing through the streets? Was it like that?
I don't think I know.
Except they were naked. That scene would have been a lot more different if Woody and Buzz were both naked.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wouldn't be on a kids movie, bro.
I remember I was at my friend's house and
We're not talking. No, this is a story for another episode. Save the content.
oh my gosh, save the
Yeah,
content.
along
I was-
with
Save
shirt
the
thing.
content.
well, then there's
we
a
got
lot of there's a
Skinny
lot of
dipping. So we got skinny dipping, streaking, and
Don't worry, I put it in the
shirtless
document.
car ride.
I put
I
it in the
have
document.
also flashed an entire room on my 18th birthday.
What?
Bro, what? Did any of them get any
I was
What?
really drunk.
photos?
Whoa, Gavin, what the fuck are you saying? Gavin, chill.
Look, there's a lot of things that I've done when there's alcohol involved, okay?
Hey, Kenzie,
18
maybe you
when
should
drank
learn to
alcohol.
hold your alcohol like I can.
I like
Jesus
letting
Christ.
I like letting loose.
How much does it even take?
I'm
You're
kind of a
lightweight, aren't
lightweight.
you?
I'm kind of a lightweight.
How
yeah.
many drinks? Like average drink, you know? Like how many?
Well, what drink? Because I typically
Like an average drink, like average alcohol content drink, bro.
Well, I usually drink ciders, and those typically have a higher alcohol percentage in them, and it usually takes me about 2 or 3 to get a little tipsy. And then
You're a
Once
bit of
I-
a lightweight.
once I hit 5, oh my gosh, like my best friend's bachelorette party, that was crazy. I got really, really, like almost blacked out drunk. I don't
I've-
remember half of the night.
I've had more alcohol than that and was fine.
And what?
I've had more alcohol than that and I was fine. I mean, I was a little lightheaded and shit, but like, I wasn't
Well, I
fucking
had-
flashing people.
Well, no, those instances I was like taking shots like all night.
That's crazy.
And
take
then
shots.
my friend's bachelorette party, I had like 5 ciders, and then my friend was like, "Oh, let's do like the penis beer pong beer thingy."
What did you say?
It was like
So
a beer pong. I don't know what it's called, beer bong or something. The thing that you put in your mouth and it's like a funnel.
I thought you
But
said.
it was,
Never mind.
but it was shaped like a penis.
What the?
Yeah.
You did that?
Yeah, I did. And
What
she
the
dumped,
fuck? Does
she
David
dumped, like,
know?
Yeah, she dumped like a half a bottle of Malibu down my throat.
Are you sure that David loves you?
Yes.
There's no way he does, bro. He loves me
Is he
more.
okay?
Yeah.
Jeez, good thing I've never around you. Good thing I have never met you in person. I swear.
You know what? I'm a lot of fun. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Say that again when your friends have to drag you down the street because you're that drunk.
No, they don't drag me down the street. I'll find my way back eventually.
God, you remind me of
stumbling
my
around.
old roommate, dude. My old roommate was sometimes he'd just be walking down the street in the middle of the night because he was that drunk.
Yeah, yeah.
Had to go find him in town a couple times to bring him back.
Oh my gosh. I've never got lost.
Yeah, but usually he drank like an entire case of beer, so
Oh,
it's Montana for you.
Beer belly, beer belly.
All right, we now have an hour of footage. Excellent work, guys. Episode 3 going excellently. Thank you for listening.
you said footage again.
Thank you for listening to the Milk Boys podcast.
Why do you change it every time you every time you say something?
Because I'm going to change it until I find something that I like.
Why is
The
it always
Everybody
milk?
Hates Kenzie podcast.
Bro.
Honestly, it might not be the worst idea.
That's only allowed to be like a title name for one episode.
Every episode?
One episode per
No.
season.
No.
One episode per season. That's the deal I can
The
make.
Kenzie episode?
Yeah,
every
Everyone
season?
hates Kenzie every season once.
And it's gonna have an updated, most recent embarrassing
season-
moment that I've done.
Yeah, each season
Mm.
is only 5 episodes. I'm just kidding.
Hey, we'll plan it out more,
Bro,
alright?
we'll be on to season 2 in no time.
Oh,
my God.
we're getting there. We're halfway through already. So,
Yeah.
that
No,
being
I think
said,
it needs to be longer.
that's what she said. Thank you, everyone, especially my mom. Thank you for listening to this episode. This is a very special episode for me.
I forgot your mom was listening.
My mom's always listening.
Yeah,
It's
no.
Always.
fine. She's
I'm
around
I'm kidding. I didn't do any of those things that I just
She's
mentioned.
No,
she's
no.
been
Mom, if you
around-
ever meet Kenzie again, please do tell her to shut up.
And to
she's
not
been
go
around some
streaking.
people.
Not
She's
to
been
get
around
drunk
some naked
either.
people.
Freaky people too.
Anyway, so everyone, say your goodbyes
Bye.
to my mom. Say goodbye to my mom.
Bye, mom.
Hi,
Should
Mikey's
I
mom.
say Mikey's mom or should I use her name? She's given.
Bye, Ken.
She's basically your mom too.
I guess she would be my second mom, pretty much.
Bye, mom.
Anyways, yeah. Bye, Mikey's mom.
Yeah,
Mhm,
bye,
mhm.
Mikey's mom.
We don't need a
Mhm,
name
mhm,
drop. We
mhm,
don't need a name
mhm,
drop.
mhm. Yeah, we don't.
Everything I mentioned was a lie. That's not true. It never happened.
I smell
She's lying right now.
bullshit. Thank you for listening to episode 3 of the Fart Donkle podcast. We will be back for episode 4. I don't know what the topic will be. You decide. Thank you. Goodbye.